Hey everyone, welcome to the third episode of the Countdown City Wrestle-Cast. My name is JC, and with me on this episode is Tommy.
Konnichiwa.
Just the two of us. We're tag teaming this thing. Wait, you part Japanese?
Chinese, actually, in real life.
That's the wrong language then, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, today we're going to be previewing the upcoming greatest independent show ever, as is the tagline. We're talking, of course, about All In.
Woohoo!
Just want to mention that our Twitter account, you can follow us as @CCG_WrestleCast. Now, of course, the All In show, we're going to get into a little backstory, give you a preview of the matches, and then just kind of close it out from there, hoping that you'll watch it this weekend. I'm sure we will.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a little backstory on this. I want to give a shout out first to the Talk is Jericho podcast, who on August 22nd had Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks on there to preview the All In show. It was a great podcast, great listen, and they debuted the Young Bucks' new music, which sounds badass. So go check it out. Also, Jim Ross on his Ross Report on the same day, August 22nd, he also had the Young Bucks there to preview All In. So they provided a lot of story. It's really interesting how this came into to play. So a little brief history. Of course, WWE fans might remember, and a lot of us will remember, the Bullet Club invasion of WWE. Very reminiscent of the DX invasion of WCW.
That was great. That was so great.
The funniest story about that is Cody Rhodes mentioned, he said he put out like maybe 30 minutes before they were going to do it, hey, we're meeting here, we're going to quote-unquote invade WWE as part of the Bullet Club. And they expected 20 people. They got hundreds. And it was from there they started to realize, you know what, we could probably do a show on our own. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, they would talk about Jimmy Jacobs coming out there.
Yeah.
More on him later. There's a funny tie to that. He gets fired. So anyway, while they were already working on putting this show together, Dave Meltzer replied to a tweet asking if our Ring of Honor could sell out a 10,000-seat arena. And Meltzer says, not anytime soon. Cody Rhodes replies, I'll take that bet. They'd already been working on it, and it was off from there. And everybody was like, okay, let's see what they put together. Everyone seemed to think that only WWE could pull off a show like this. So eventually, they originally had Ring of Honor helping with it, but it's mostly been a self-funded event by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. Mm-hmm. And when they finally put it together, they found a venue in Chicago in the Sears Center. It's actually in Hoffman Estates, which is right outside Chicago. And they put the tickets on sale on a Sunday. And everyone's like, why are you putting them on sale? It's a Sunday. They sold out in 30 minutes, which is remarkable.
I still can't believe that. I remember, because I was actually going to try to go. And I figured maybe when they went on sale, I'd have maybe 2 hours to try. And I was going to be because I wasn't, I was at church. I remember now. I was at church. I was going to be when I get home, I'm going to try to get tickets. And then I would
skip church that day to get tickets.
I would have to have talked with the Lord about that, and I didn't have enough time.
He would have forgiven you.
He probably would have.
The Lord loves wrestling.
Yeah, He
So.
has to. Shawn Michaels was a wrestler.
Yeah.
So, but it's I was sitting in church when the tickets went on sale. By the time church let out, I looked, and they were already sold out. I kind of felt a little bit betrayed, but not really, because I was happy for them, but I'm not going.
It's pretty. I think as a fan of independent wrestling as we are, both of us are. As of course my wife Tina is, who's normally on the show, it's pretty cool to see this get so big and funded basically by wrestlers themselves.
Yeah, it also kind of proves that the fans, they do know more than just WWE, and they would like more than just WWE. They know that Cody and the Young Bucks alone are going to always put on 110% whenever they go out to the ring, 120 if they can. So they know that they know plenty of guys in the wrestling business who they can bring in, of course, Bullet Club guys and whoever else they can book. So I think they were pretty much guaranteed this is going to be a good show. So they're like, yeah, let's go. And that just proves how powerful independent wrestling really is.
Definitely. It's so big, in fact, that they've added a StarCast fan convention also going on that weekend. They're going to have autograph signings from, of all people, CM Punk, Chicago native, which has fueled the rumors if he's going to actually appear on this show. Never say never in wrestling. We'll see.
Yeah.
But this fan convention I've heard is big. There's autograph signings. There's meet and greets. I believe they said Mike Tenay was going to be out there, and you can cut a promo or call a match with him, like you're in a booth. So it's going to be a pretty cool convention. I think they're even going to stream that on the Fight TV network.
I still might try to drive up to Chicago, man. I keep thinking about it back and forth, honestly.
So this event is this Saturday, September 1st. It's at 6 p.m. Central Time. The pre-show is going to be at 5 p.m. It's at the Sears Center in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, which is just outside Chicago. Believe it's on the Fight TV app for $39.99, or it's also on your pay-per-view provider. So check with your pay-per-view provider on that. The pre-show is on WGN America at 5 p.m.
And also, I read that New Japan World will have the All In show after the live pay-per-view. So they won't stream it live, but afterwards they will have it on New Japan World. So those of you who already have a subscription, like I do, then if you want to catch it later, you absolutely can on NewJapanWorld.com. And that subscription is.
If you can hack his account, you can just watch it off his.
I would prefer you not do that. Just because I like my New Japan World account, because I literally have stayed up for the past 3 years till 7 a.m. to watch Wrestle Kingdom, and not once have I regretted it. And I don't think I will this coming year. I don't care what the card is going to be. So yeah, I like my account. So don't do that. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
I'll get your password later.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But just before we get into the match predictions, I just want to mention, I'm just going to name the referees that are going to be on this show.
Yes.
Which is remarkable itself. Earl Hebner, Todd Sinclair, Paul Turner, Rick Knox, and Jerry Effin Lynn.
The funny part is, it's just the referees alone. I'm wondering what the budget was for the show because, first of all, Earl Hebner, one of the legendary wrestlers, and Todd Sinclair, which is funny. It's funny you mention that because every time Todd Sinclair comes to San Antonio with Ring of Honor, we have cheered him out of the building every single time. Matter of fact, when he gets attacked by a wrestler, even by accident, we have booed the wrestler so bad. To the point where one time Bobby Cruz stopped the show, looked at us and said, I have been with Ring of Honor for how many ever years, he said, I have never heard Todd Sinclair get the reaction he gets when he's in San Antonio, ever. So just that alone is incredible. And to have Jerry Lynn.
Legendary
Jerry Lynn. I mean, he's wrestled here before as part of Anarchy Championship Wrestling, and I've got to see him live. And let me tell you that watching him on DVD was one thing. Seeing him live was almost a magical experience because that guy is every bit as good as he's always had been. When he retired, I was kind of sad, but I was like, hey, do what you got to do. But to see him ref all in makes it wants to see it even more.
Can't wait to see him again. He's one of the nicest guys to meet in person.
Yeah,
too.
very, very nice guy.
So here we go. We're going to get started with the 0 Hour pre-show. Again, this is at 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time on WGN America, free for everyone. First match on the card is the Briscoe Brothers versus SoCal Uncensored.
SCU,
who's going to come out and say that this is the worst town they've ever been. Definitely going to say that.
Absolutely, and I can't wait.
It's going to be a great show to kick it off.
Yeah.
I love both teams. Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, Jay and Mark Briscoe. Mm-hmm. Ready to see some redneck kung fu.
Yes.
What are you picking, Tommy?
This is really hard because not only just from the team-wise standpoint, but from just the guys. Because I've met, it's really cool for me to say, I've met all four of these guys.
You've met everybody on this card.
I have not met every
pictures on your
one.
Page
there's 3 people I know for sure I haven't met yet. Anyway, matter of fact, we should just do that. Everyone I know I've met, I should just say that I've met them before. But
show off.
Hell yeah, that's half the reason I meet these people is to show off. But I gotta go with the Briscoes on this one. They've been teaming longer. I think they're still the current ROH World Tag Champions. And the Briscoes always have something to prove. Whenever they get in the ring with any tag team, they're out to prove they're the best. SCU is great. There's no denying that. But they don't have quite the, time together, especially Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. That, well, of course not as much as the Briscoes have. They literally grew up together. But I'm calling the Briscoes for this one. I'm
agreeing with you on the Briscoes. I'm with the Briscoes. It's just going to be a fun match to get things going. I can't wait to see how. I think they're going to go for a good 20, 25
Probably.
minutes,
Are they allowed to cuss? Because if they
it's
are,
an independent show.
Yeah, okay, they're going to cuss a lot.
Pay-per-view.
All kids should be removed from right next to the screen because there will be a lot of. Oh wait, no, it's the pre-show on WGN. They may not be able to.
It depends on the TV rating.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So it just depends. It's pretty cool that WGN came in and offered to air this, by the way, which is pretty amazing.
That is pretty cool.
And then the appropriately named over-budget battle royal.
Can we just appreciate how perfect of a name?
Here's a funny story about this: is that the Young Bucks mentioned that it started out with 15 people. They're way past 15. They don't even know how many people are going to be in this battle royal. I think Cody Rhodes said everything that you see on the show, from the ring apron to the skirt, anything a collector would buy, he sold it, and that's what's paying for the budget for a lot of these wrestlers. As of recording of this, they're going to have Jordan Grace, Moose. Yes, the woman is going to be in this battle royal. Moose. Rocky Romero, Colt Cabana, Ethan Page, Brian Cage, Billy Gunn, Jimmy Jacobs, Marco Stunt, Brandon Cutler, and Punishment Martinez. That's who they've confirmed and announced so far there's going to be in this Battle Royal. And the winner is going to get a title shot for the Ring of Honor World Championship against Jay Lethal later in the night. Now, we'll just say who we think is going to win. It can be somebody on this list, someone I haven't mentioned. Everyone's saying, hey, maybe CM Punk will show up for this match. Maybe Adrian Neville, who's back to his indie name, Pac, could be in this match. Maybe even Kevin Owens, if his quitting wasn't a work that he did on Monday on Raw, could be in this match. So there's a lot of ways they can go for it. I know some of that is wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe Vince McMahon shows up and is in this match. Who knows, right?
My wishful thinking would be that the New Day would show up, just because I know they had the video game tournament recently, and like on episode Being the Elite, Nick Jackson just said like offhandedly, or we can just challenge them to a wrestling match, and I was just like, oh, if only the world were so perfect we could get that.
Hey, never say never in wrestling.
That's
right?
true.
So, personally, I think Pac is going to show up quiet as hell. You're going to sneak him in, and he's going to be the one that wins this battle royal.
Like Lex Luger on Nitro.
Yeah. So I think Pac's going to show up. He's going to be the surprise entrant, and he's going to make the appearance and win the over-budget battle royal.
If he doesn't, I'll pick one of the people who is listed currently, and I'll say Jimmy Jacobs, only because I think Jimmy Jacobs has been getting ready to make his major comeback. And honestly, I feel he should have been Ring of Honor World Champion like years ago. I think him and BJ Whitmer both deserved to both be world champion at one point and feuding over the belt. That was just my feelings about it, but that's neither here nor there.
All right, so now that's part of the 0 hour pre-show. And then right at 6 o'clock, switch to your pay-per-view provider, get on the Fight TV app because we're starting the biggest independent wrestling show ever. Now, obviously, we don't know the order of the matches. We have a good idea what might be the main event, what's going to start it off. I'm just going to kind of go in the order I'm really glad I picked, I guess, however I typed it in.
There's no wrong way to pick this at this point. Because
not.
The funny part is, with the exception of maybe one or two matches, any of these could be a main event match. And I think every match is going to... I don't see any of these matches disappointing in any way, really, to tell you the truth. Yeah.
We'll start with Kazuchika Okada versus Marty Scurll. Go for it.
Okay, before I make my pick, again, going back to Being the Elite, the absolute level they've been building this up in just a strict comedy way has been fantastic. With Marty Scurll going to every single like junior heavyweight or current heavyweight saying, "What can I do?" Going to Nick Aldis, going to Rey Mysterio, and even going to his best friend Zack Sabre Jr. They're all just saying like, "Yeah, you're gonna lose." And even even Okada himself, they interviewed him and he said Marty Scurll, he said, maybe this is his last match before 205 Live. And I was like, that was a cut. One of the very last videos was he walked past Marty and went 205 and walked off. I was like, damn. I'm going to pick Okada for this one, but I do think Marty's going to give him a good fight. But either way, I've been sold in this match just because of all the effort they're putting into saying, oh, he's a junior heavyweight, he doesn't have a chance. But in all fairness to Marty, he kind of doesn't, because to me, this is a personal feeling, I think Okada is the best in the world right now. And this is coming from a diehard AJ Styles fan. I think the current guy going right now is Okada, wrestling-wise.
I'm with you on that. I think Okada takes this one.
Yeah.
He's just a big name. He's all over the world.
Yeah.
And he's probably like New Japan's hottest commodity
right
now.
He cracked the PWI Top 500. One of the first guys from Japan to finally do that, even though...
when they release that, we might have to take a look at that top 10 and see if
seriously.
We have to take a
hopefully,
look at that.
Hopefully they change that.
Next match, Joey Janela with Penelope Ford against Hangman Page. I'm going to go with Hangman Page on this one. I don't know. It just seems like the right pick for me.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Hangman Page, but here's what I'm hoping happens after the bell rings.
Oh, boy.
I want like a Undertaker style kind of moment where Joey Ryan shows back up from the dead. I want someone to yell, "Oh my God, it's famous Dick wrestler Joey Ryan back from the dead." Because I actually did see him recently. He was a zombie, I guess, wrestling here in San Antonio. And so hard I was laughing to myself because just thinking like the absurdity of all this is fantastic. This is one of those things in wrestling where it's like, you know what? This is meant to be a joke. And people who don't take it as knowing it's a joke going in need to lighten up. It's funny. not all wrestling is completely serious. If you don't believe that, seriously, go back and watch wrestling in the 80s. 90% of the time, you'll see a comedy match. This is just fun. It's hilarious. And I think Hangman's going to win too, but I just hope Joey Ryan shows up and just scares the ever-loving piss, pun totally intended, out of Hangman Page.
What if he's in the Battle Royal and he throws everyone over the rope with his
That would
members?
literally be the greatest moment in independent pro wrestling, and I don't think I'm exaggerating that at all. I think that'd be the greatest moment in independent pro wrestling.
Next is a four-way women's match: Madison Rayne, Britt Baker, Chelsea Green, and Tessa Blanchard. I'm kind of at a loss on this one. This one can go either way.
Yeah.
My heart is saying to go with Madison Rayne. Not just because she's in the Mae Young Classic that's going or is airing right now, I should say. And plus I have a soft spot in my heart because she's a former tag team champion with Gail Kim and TNA.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I forgot I'm quite a love for Gail Kim.
Yes.
I'm going with Tessa Blanchard for this one, honestly. It seems like Tessa's just been on a hot streak recently. And by the way, this is taking away nothing from Madison Rayne, Britt Baker, Chelsea Green.
But Chelsea Green I think is going to be psycho in this match.
I hope so, because Psycho Chelsea Green is like the best Chelsea Green in my opinion.
Yeah.
All four of these women are at the top of their game right now. Madison Rayne is probably the veteran of these four.
Probably the biggest name.
Yeah, probably for sure. But it's going to be one of those matches that's really going to showcase the continued women's evolution, which of course these four women never had that problem of being stereotyped as just the eye candy. But it's for people who don't know. This is going to be what really shows them. Women on the independent scene, they're really tough. Of course, Jordan Grace I think will do that in the Battle Royal in the pre-show, but I think this will really showcase what they can do.
It's a very good chance all these women could be signed to WWE very soon too.
Yeah.
Madison Rayne especially, of course, she's in the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah.
This could be one of her last matches, but all of these women have talent, and they
Very
could
much so.
definitely, with the Evolution pay-per-view coming to WWE, these ladies could all be a part of WWE very, very soon, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Now, six-man tag match. The Young Bucks have joked that this probably could be the main event just because they're on it. Of course, we don't really know. Rey Mysterio, Phoenix, and Bandido versus the Golden Elite, Kota Ibushi, and the Young Bucks. I'll let you pick because I can't decide if the Young Bucks will put themselves over on their own show.
I don't see. I don't know because because that was my conundrum. Is like, okay, so, but putting this over on their own show, would it be really that horrible? Would it be really that different from booking in the 70s, 80s, or even 90s?
Any basic independent promotion.
Yeah.
The guy that runs a promotion, he's the champion.
Yeah, he's the champion. At least for like a month until the guy he's training beats him.
Yeah. Right.
But I don't know. But I do know one thing that's going to be funny about this match is Rey Mysterio did a video recently where Theo Rossi of Sons of Anarchy and Luke Cage fame was like joking. He said like, who are the Young Bucks? And he's like, and Rey Mysterio's like, oh, come to Chicago with me. You'll know who they are. Like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, I've never met them, but I know who you are, so I'll go with you. So I don't know, because the funny part is I think the only guy here who is somewhat unknown is Bandido, and like everyone else, you know who they are. So like no one really needs this win. So
I think for Mysterio's team, these guys are gonna be showcasing what they can do.
Yeah. So this is gonna be a spot fest of a match, and I don't even remotely care. Let it be as spotty as they want it to be. I'm gonna go with Mysterio, Phoenix, and Bandido though. Honestly, I think that'll be just enough fun for them to pull out a win, and even if the Young Bucks ego does, well, I don't even call it ego. If they do win, it won't matter. The fans are going to go home happy with this match. There's no chance of fans going home not happy with this match for sure.
I'm going with the Super Kick Party.
Okay.
I think Golden Elite's taking it. It's just simple independent wrestling. I think might as well put who cares? You can't go wrong picking this one. It's going to be entertaining.
You really can't.
Mysterio, we know, is probably going to be in WWE later on since he's in the video game this year. So to see him in an independent show. God, I can't. It's just be weird seeing him outside of like Lucha Underground and
seriously
at this point. Now, for a lot of Geekcaster fans out there who love Arrow, the Arrowverse, we have the Fallen Angel against the Green Arrow. Of course, I'm talking about Christopher Daniels versus Stephen Amell. This match has been promoted quite extensively on Twitter. Of course, Christopher Daniels making appearances on Being the Elite. Stephen Amell training with Cody Rhodes for this, and he looks damn good. Training.
Is it bad that like I'm almost looking forward to this match more than most of the others?
It's been hyped up so much.
Well, it's not just that, but okay, look at all the times Stephen Amell's been in the ring so far. He's taken this seriously.
Yeah.
It's like he's not just a guy. Oh, he's just a celebrity who wants to be. No, he's like if this whole Arrow thing fails out, hey, you guys got a spot for me somewhere, and everybody be like, oh yeah, we'll put you on our show. I don't know. Yeah.
While we're thinking about it, I'm going to mention that Stephen Amell was on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, Inside of You. Talks about how he got started with acting, how he got the Arrow part. It's just a great podcast, and it's so much funny. It's explicit, though, but it's hilarious. Okay. But I'm actually going to go with Stephen Amell on this one.
Okay.
Not just because I'm a Geekcaster, but because I feel like he's trained so hard for this, and I think the crowd's going to be behind it.
Yeah.
And if this could sleep or steal the show,
I think it could.
It really could.
Yeah, because and the reason why I agree with you on that is because Daniels is such a ring general, and I think Stephen Amell has really doesn't have that much of an ego about this. I think he's like. I think the promos they've been cutting have been fantastic with each other. They've been really hyping it up like this is like a blood feud, which I'm all for. But I think Daniels is such a ring general. He knows what to do in the ring, even with a rookie, that he can pull a great match out of even a guy who's decent. And
Stephen Amell's a smart dude. He's mentioned on Rosenbaum's podcast every episode for the Arrow. He reads the script 3 times and he's got it.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
I feel like if he just goes over the match, they could probably call some stuff in the ring. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and I think Amell cares enough about not just this match but the whole show because him and Cody are tight. He knows what this show means to Cody. He wants it to go well for him, so he'll do whatever he can to make the show go well. That being said, I gotta go with Daniels.
You're going with Daniels.
I gotta go with Daniels. Right. So here's one reason why. I'm an old school Fallen Angel fan. Like when I started watching wrestling again when I was in high school and I discovered TNA and Ring of Honor. Christopher Daniels, I immediately gravitated to his character, to his ring presence, to his moveset, and I was like, yeah, I'm a fan of this guy. So I'm an old school Daniels fan. I marked out when I finally got to meet him in real life. I lost my freaking mind. So I'm picking the Fallen Angel for this one.
All right. Next on the card is Kenny Omega versus Pentagon. I am just going to come out and say it. I'm going to go with Kenny Omega. I think he's the hottest wrestler out there in the world, not currently with a WWE contract. It's funny though, watching WWE Network recently, they actually, I think it was on the Bruce Pritchard Something to Wrestle With podcast, and they showed an old, I think it was a Deep South wrestling promo with Kenny.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I was like, why is that on there? I'm so confused.
It's just amazing they have that in the archives, but this guy could very easily be signed to WWE and main event immediately, challenging AJ Styles. But I think he's just the best guy in the world right now. Not with a WWE contract, could very easily be there, and this match will just prove it itself. Nothing against Pentagon, but
well, Omega and Okada, like for 2 years straight, were doing matches that people have only dreamed of seeing, and 6 stars and even a 7-star match. Who does that? But so yeah, I could definitely see Omega debuting and like attacking AJ with like a V trigger to the back of his head. That'd be funny as all get out. But I'm going to go ahead and pick Kenny Omega too. I think Pentagon, if anyone, will give him like the best run for his money. But Omega's just too hot right now for sure.
He's the man.
So yeah, I'm gonna go Omega as well.
So now we get to the other guy that's booking this stuff.
Seriously.
Yeah, NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Nick Aldis, aka Magnus from TNA fame, is the champion. Challenged by Cody Rhodes, who's going to have his wife Brandy Rhodes in his corner. Excuse me. This was tough to pick for me. First of all, we know the NWA's history. Are they even going to sanction a title change? But
that's my biggest deal. If they'd actually sanctioned such a title change,
they're weird like that.
They are.
See Cole Cabana and Adam Pearce.
Absolutely.
For that,
yeah.
So.
They can give you some stories.
Well,
different people were running it at that point. They've changed hands a couple times as far as who owns NWA since then. So
yeah, I am actually going to go with Nick Aldis on this one. I think this is just going to stay there. Cody's going to put on a hell of a match. He's going to have the fans in his corner the whole time. And but I think Cody is primed. He's such a big star right now. I think he is primed to make a surprise return to WWE, possibly at the Royal Rumble this year.
And I think about that.
believe, I don't know exactly what his contract situation is, but I've heard some rumors out there that he could be back very soon. As big a star as he is, this could be the show or the match that could put him there if he so chooses to go back. He doesn't really need it. He's such a big star now.
He'd go back as a heel, attack Roman Reigns, and get cheered out the building.
Exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of that, by the way, real quick, I always laugh at people so like they're cheering the heels. Well, yeah, that happens all the time. Kevin Owens, when he was Kevin Steen, was always a heel. Very seldom ever a good guy.
Heels are going to be cheered on this show all the time.
You can never get cheered more than Kevin Steen back in the day.
Especially on indie shows.
And actually in this show, I don't think anyone's going to be booed like at all. I really can't see anyone getting booed for any reason. But you know what? I'm gonna go with Aldis as well.
Aldis as well.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be just one hell of a match. I think it's gonna be like an old school hard hitting match, more than some of the others. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Aldis on this one, winning this one overall.
All right. And finally, what at least I think could be the main event on this, only because this is what the challenge has said, that Ring of Honor could never sell out a 10,000 seat arena.
Even though now they sold out Madison Square Garden, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, it's here nor there. And then these guys with just a basic independent show sold out one.
Mm-hmm.
The Ring of Honor World Championship, Jay Lethal challenging the winner of the over budget battle royal from the pre-show. I said it was gonna be Pac. You said it was gonna be Jimmy Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our battle royal picks may not be right. But
yeah.
My question is really, do you think whoever wins the battle royal, you can go based on Jimmy Jacobs, will beat Jay Lethal to become new champion?
If it's Jimmy Jacobs, I will say that Jay might win it.
Jay Lethal?
Yeah,
all right.
At All In. But if it's Jimmy Jacobs and Jay Lethal does win it at All In, I do see that setting up another match later in the future through a Ring of Honor produced show.
Possibly a final battle?
Yeah, something like that, where Jimmy would win it. If it's Pac, I'd say Pac's going to win it right off the bat at the show.
You took my pick from me because I'm picking Pac.
Okay, so that's fair.
That would be a hell of a way to debut on the Independents and even show up in Ring
So to me, honestly, this kind of depends on who's in the Battle Royal and who will win it, which is really odd to say because we don't know who's in it yet. Not all the people in it yet, and we don't, because I think Ring of Honor is I think they're trusting enough with Cody and the Young Bucks with this show. Clearly, I mean, they got their world champion and their world tag champions.
They got a lot of the production crew working for Ring of Honor on this show as well. So.
And aren't Cody and the Young Bucks the 6-man tag champs right now?
I believe so.
I think they are. So so their own 6-man tag champs are running the show.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly Joe Koff doesn't care. He's like it's good for the business. So I think even if Lethal does lose it, it's good for everyone. It's a win for independence. It's a win for ROH because that proves the true unpredictability of pro wrestling. So either way, it's gonna be great.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and write down my wife's name for Jay Lethal because she loves Jay Lethal, as she has a T-shirt that says he's the best in the world because he beat all these other people.
That's a great shirt, by the way.
Yeah, maybe next time she's on the show, I'll have her wear
that's
it.
That's a great
you guys can see that shirt. It's a great shirt. So that's our picks for the show.
Yeah.
We do want to send our congrats. We have a little congratulations segment. I want to say congrats to Cody Rhodes and Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. Young Buck pose ready? Go.
Yeah.
All right.
Love it.
This is the first 10,000 plus non-WWE or WCW show to sell out since 1993 in America.
That's insane when you think about that.
When you think about that, that show was just a random lucha show in the LA Sports Arena.
That is like 25 years of like no one being able to outdo WWE, WCW, and these guys did it in 30 minutes.
Think about it. The last time that happened, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was debuting on TV.
Holy crap, that means I was 5.
Yeah. Can you think about that?
No, I can't. That means I was 5 and like I went to my first wrestling show like the year before. Yeah. I think Survivor Series was in San Antonio. No, the year later. It was in 94. Okay, I remember.
So it's going to be an amazing show. I think we've been looking forward to this for a while.
Yeah.
Ever since Meltzer, I wouldn't say he I wouldn't say he challenged him. He kind of pseudo did.
I think he was just like speaking off the cuff. And I think Cody kind of has the mindset of his dad. Well, you tell him he can't do something, he's like, I'm gonna go do the thing. He's like just like Dusty Rhodes. You can't do the thing. I'm gonna go do the thing that you just said I can't do and do the thing better. So
just proving people wrong.
Yeah.
So again, the All In show is this Saturday, September 1st at 6 p.m. Central Time. The pre-show is on WGN America at 5 p.m. Central. The pay-per-view itself will emanate from the Sears Center in Chicago, Illinois. It'll be on the Fight TV app for $39.99, or also on your pay-per-view provider. Check for details. And as you said, New Japan
World will have it after the show. So don't look for it while the show's airing, but after it's aired, New Japan World.
Yep. And that's our show for this week. Follow us on Twitter at @CCG_WrestleCast. Leave your comments if you watch the show. Leave your comments on this video, and we'll read some of them next week when we recap All In, the results, what we like, what we disliked. I don't know if there's anything on the show we're going to dislike.
I really, actually, you know what? And that's the interesting. I know we've said it already, but like, I really don't see anything on this whole card not living up to expectations, because
it's gonna be a fun show.
Okay, so my kind of mindset is sometimes the guys in WWE may not try as hard because they're already there. Guys on independent shows give everything they've got. These guys, for All In, I think especially because they respect what the Young Bucks and Cody are trying to do, they're going to get everything they've got. So I don't see any of these matches disappointing.
And they want to please the fans, who
absolutely
are definitely hardcore.
We're going to be all over the world too. They're going to be from everywhere going to be at the show.
So until next week, I'm JC.
Tommy.
And always remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.